There are a lot of beach towns here in Florida, and today we're going to be discussing 2 of them. And as a big fan of Miramar Beach, that's the one I'm going to go for, but of course, AJ's all Team 30A. So which one do we go to, Miramar Beach or 30A? Let's get into it. If you are considering a move to the beautiful Panhandle of Florida and you're trying to figure out which beach do I go to, and you're torn between Miramar Beach and the beautiful beaches at 30A, which one do you choose? In today's video, we're going to be comparing the two, and I think Miramar Beach is going to come out on top.
Not likely.
So let's start with geography. Here is why Miramar Beach's geography is just a little bit better.
Nope.
This charming beachside town is located right in between some bigger cities and a ton of attractions. It's located, well, both of these areas are located right on the beautiful Emerald Coast, which, if you guys don't know, if you haven't been watching us, has the most beautiful beaches on planet Earth. I know we're biased, okay? We're a little bit, just a tiny, like a lot biased, okay? But powder white sands, beautiful emerald waters, and when they're not beautiful emeralds, sometimes they're, a light green or a light blue, but nonetheless, it is absolutely gorgeous. Miramar Beach stretches the coastline, and it gives you lots of options for beachfront properties and inland properties as well.
Yeah, but 30A. So 30A has far more beach accesses. So we're talking about the geography, right? So how about the beach accesses part, right? What you're actually, wanting to hang out at. Now, granted, Miramar Beach does have that long stretch of that boardwalk.
I mean, it's pretty long. There's a lot of options there.
It is. And it is nice to walk along that area whenever you just want to do a morning stroll or an evening stroll or something. But on 30A, we have the Timpucci Trail, and it's like a 20-mile stretch. And we've got all of those coastal dunes and then the coastal dune lakes, which you're not going to see on Miramar Beach. So point for 30A.
Okay, so you've got the beaches, but there are a bunch of tiny beaches at 30A. You've got to find your little spot. In Miramar, it is very obvious where the beach is, and it just keeps going. And there's lots of parking. Ish. And
if you like to parallel park, then there's tons of parking that everyone is always occupying.
So yes, you might have to parallel park at some of the beaches on Miramar, but at least there's plenty of room to park, A lot of the ones on 30A only have about 5 or 10 spots, or 15, or 20. Or 25, I don't know how many, I've never counted them, but they're smaller, okay? Now, talking about the coastal dune lakes, we do have beautiful sand dunes. I guess you guys have that too, but we do have Topsail Hill Preserve State Park, which I guess also goes into 38. Let's go to the next section. Let's skip beaches. Let's go to the next one. Roll it.
I think that means that 30A won for the beach section. I'm just going to claim it. Also, our beach accesses have bathrooms, whereas Miramar Beach...
There's a couple.
Are there?
In restaurants nearby.
Let's not forget the different personalities. Miramar Beach is just like one area, so you either like Miramar Beach or you don't. Whereas on 30A, you got like multiple personalities to choose from. It's like dating a woman.
You're absolutely right, AJ. But if you're looking for something a little bit more consistent, where everything's just kind of the same, but like in a good way, where everything around you like, you don't have to figure out which beach you're in, figure out what personality you want that day, then Miramar is definitely the better choice.
Listen, we love to joke. We don't need any crazy comments down below. We're not sexist or anything over here.
It's just purely for fun, guys.
This is just for fun and for our entertainment mostly, but yours as well. Welcome to the show. Speaking of which, if this is your first time here, welcome. Please hit that subscribe button and ding the bell so that you get notified every time we do another video. We're doing videos everywhere from Pensacola to Panama City Beach, so you will be the most informed person amongst your friends group that's considering moving to the area.
Looking at the actual personality of Miramar Beach in and of itself, it is more of a lively, kind of energetic feel. It's going to attract the people that live there and, of course, tourists alike.
I'll give you that. You do have, the lively personality there. And then on 38, you kind of bounce around from lively and energetic, some teenagers hanging out at night, to some very chill, laid back, very intimate settings. You've got these different accesses and they kind of each have their own personality, and they all tend to be kind of slow and chill. And you've got restaurants on one one side, and then, great beach accesses with great restroom facilities. I don't know why they're all so good, but they are.
They just really focus on the bathrooms in these
I
areas.
have to pee a lot.
So you've got more of an energetic kind of, I don't even want to say party feel, but more like in that sort of realm versus like a little bit more tranquil and relaxing.
I'll give you that.
Tough choice.
So
fun or boring? Like which one do you
rude. I will say both beaches tend to be super clean in these areas. Like compared to Fort Walton Beach or even Navarre a lot of times, the local authorities of 30A and Miramar Beach tend to keep the beaches really, really clean. Plus the locals, we just care a lot. So a lot of times you'll see locals carrying around plastic bags or paper bags and just stuffing trash in them to keep the beaches beautiful and to keep our wildlife safe.
Now, when it comes to the busyness of the beach itself, Miramar Beach is a little bit more busy. So if you're looking to make some friends out at the beach, you're going to have a higher opportunity there.
You're right there. On 30A, depending on the time, I would almost argue that sometimes 30A beaches are a little bit busier, depending on which one. I think you always have the ability to get to a quieter section of 30A just because there are so many different accesses and some of them are private. So if you're a homeowner along 30A, you do have the opportunity to purchase a residence that has a private beach access to where you're able to be a little bit more secluded. And again, you get to continue that like quiet lifestyle that isn't quite so like hustling and bustling, and you just kind of chill.
Now, sliding over from the beach over into recreational water sports, if you will. Miramar Beach is going to have you covered for more of the action style stuff, the parasailing, snorkeling, jet skiing, things like that.
Yeah, 30A is a bit more chill once again. So you're going to see a lot more, paddle boards, maybe a little bit of surfing, and then you're going to see some kayaking on the coastal dune lakes. But for the most part, it seems like everything's kind of chill, really.
Zen.
Very zen, yes. Even our waves are chill.
All right. Now let's go into one that I know Miramar Beach is going to win, and that is the events that they have, okay? They've got plenty of outdoor concerts, beachside concerts, they've got sandcastle contests, and things like that. What do you guys have?
I don't know, only events every single day over at the Big Chill. I mean, Sage and I were just watching The Jungle Book over there on a family movie night that they do every single week. We have art galleries galore all along 30A. We've got children's classes for teaching them how to do artwork.
It's true.
We've got like Broadway style performances.
Yeah.
We just have we've got live music at various bars like throughout 30A. I think we've got sandcastles and bonfires too.
All right. Well, so you guys are a little bit more artsy over there in 38.
Oh yeah, way more artsy. You can keep your jet skis.
I will.
And while you're on your jet skis, some of us will be out, hiking or off-roading at Point Washington State Park because, we have park. That. Yeah, we have a video actually of that where we went off-roading in your Jeep. That was awesome. Really fun park. So lots to do off the beach in 30A as well. What have you got?
Well, Miramar's got plenty of biking trails and you can walk around and things like that. So, it's like kind of there. There's state parks. There's plenty of smaller parks there also. But I will fold and say 30A's got the outdoor recreation beat just by a little tiny bit. All right, you know what? Let's move on over into housing prices. Okay, yeah. So Miramar has it covered. The housing prices are a little bit lower for the most part. Now, of course, the prices are going to vary depending on what neighborhood you're in, and are you further inland? Are you near the beach? Are you a block away from the beach? Are you right on the beach? Of course, location is always going to determine price.
Yeah, I think you might actually have us beat on this one. 30A, there's a certain number that you have to hit in order to enter into that realm that Miramar Beach seems to have an easier one to attain.
It's like a price gatekeeper.
Yeah. But you get what you pay for. I kind of want to call a truce here. You got me with the whole pricing point. Let's move on to something that's a little bit more equitable and talk about maybe the taxes.
Ooh, that's beneficial for everybody. The taxes here are not all that bad in comparison to a lot of other areas. And we have two major advantages. There's probably many that I'm not thinking of off the top of my head. One of those is homesteading. So you can actually homestead your property here to lower your taxes even further and prevent it from raising more than 3% per year. And we have $0 or 0% for state income tax. So if you're coming down here to get a little bit of work done, well, as long as you become a resident, you won't have to pay all that extra tax.
if you happen to be a veteran, for one, thank you for your service. But for two, if you happen to be 100% disabled, then you don't have to pay any property taxes in the state of Florida. So yet another great advantage. That's not just Miramar Beach and 30A. We share that with all of Florida.
Just a little tidbit for you. All right. Well, if you're going to move down here, you're going to need to know about the general expenses, groceries and gas. And, well, Miramar Beach and 30A are like right next to each other. So they're probably the exact same, right?
They're pretty much the same. Yeah, you're going to, fine dining is fine dining and gas is gas. So, right, in these areas.
Well, what about all those boutique shops you guys have? Those seem kind of pricey.
Some of those can be rather pricey, but some of them are not so bad. We've got the same Alvin's, along 30A that you have over in Destin. So
that's true.
A lot of things are going to be very, very similar regardless. And especially with Miramar Beach and 30A being in such close proximity to each other, a lot of these things are going to be very similar. They're of the same style, very touristy, very beachy. So a lot of the same owners. So we're going to see some very, very similar pricing when it comes to, entertainment and such between Miramar Beach and 30A.
And of course, all of the utilities and groceries and gas stuff that we kind of mentioned a second ago, they're all going to fall in line with the national average. So you're not going to come down here and be surprised that our gas is outrageous or anything like that. It's going to fall in line with everything else.
For homeowners insurance, we're going to see pretty similar premiums both in Miramar Beach and 30A. And of course, proximity to the beach, and then whether or not you're in a flood zone, those are going to have huge impacts on your rate and also determine whether or not you're going to require flood insurance. If you don't require flood insurance, but you're in one of these locations, we still recommend that you get it just in case. It's not going to be quite as high as a premium, but it is going to save your butt if you ever do need it.
So if you did move down here and you did purchase something, you're probably going to notice that a lot of the communities in both of these towns are going to have HOAs. Now, I will say that over in Miramar, they are generally a little bit more on the lower side.
Yeah, 30A's HOAs can be a little bit hefty, but a lot of times those come with some great amenities and some great services, because once again, at least in our area, for the most part, you do get what you pay for. And a lot of times these HOAs are going to be very helpful, because if you want to be in an area that short-term rents a property, they're going to let you know basically where you're allowed to. And if you want to be in an area that doesn't allow short-term rentals, you're able to look via the HOA whether that's allowed as well. So you can make sure you're not purchasing your forever home right next to a short-term rental property.
And keep in mind, too, that in either one of these areas, the HOA is going to be massively dependent on the amount of services they are giving you, not just the short-term rental, the amount of pools that they have, the amount of extra amenities. Are they doing the management for you? Are they not? Like, there's a ton of factors that go into this. So just note that high HOA doesn't always mean that it's just more expensive. Sometimes they're taking expenses off of you to share them as a whole.
The next thing is healthcare, of course. Now, I will say the ER over in Miramar Beach is extremely expensive. It is incredibly expensive.
It's like they're running a business or something over there. What do you guys do?
But over on 38, you see a lot of little pocket health centers, and a lot of them, they're cash, walk in, walk out. You don't have to worry about it, and you're going to pay significantly less money. It's more specific care, not so much like if you have an emergency kind of thing where they need to be super well informed on all kinds of things, be able to treat you immediately, like the large emergency room over in Miramar Beach. So very different kind of fields and price tags.
Now, Miramar Beach has a great sense of pride of their area, which I know 30A does too. You were talking about people walking and cleaning up the beach. They do the same thing at Miramar. In fact, they'll come together in groups and do that. And another thing that I really like in Miramar Beach is they're very business centric. So you'll see them supporting local businesses all the time, and probably why they do so many events.
I'll give you that. Miramar Beach does tend to have a lot of events based around, cleaning up the beaches and stuff. But we also have a lot of initiatives over on 30A to preserve the coastal dune lakes, and also for all kinds of charity events. We have Give 30A. There's so many events that are centered around just, various causes to help people. Well, just to help people. And there are always different causes. So.
That's true. Now, for those of you that maybe travel a little bit more than others, you want to be closer to an airport or have quick access to, the main thoroughfares, if you will. Miramar Beach literally literally has Highway 98 just smoking right through it. So you've got great, quick, easy access to the main road that comes in and out of town. Boom.
All right, you win. Yeah, basically 30A, some of our traffic gets a little bit crazy. 98 is there running east to west just to the north of us. Unless you're all the way in Allen Beach towards the northern part or Inlet Beach, then chances are you're going to have just a little bit of drama getting to 98. Not a ton, but I will say Miramar Beach has a closer proximity. We're also, slightly further to the east, depending on where along 30A you are. So not quite so centrally located as Miramar Beach is. Okay, so you got one. All right, you got a point, and 30A's had a point. Something that they're both pretty even about is the crime. Thank God. We live in a very, very safe area. Both areas are very keen on keeping very safe areas for both our children and families and also our tourists, both on and off the water. So we see a lot of patrols, and we also see a lot of lifeguards on the beaches. That doesn't mean that accidents don't happen. So please continue to be careful, both, on land as a pedestrian or a golf cart driver, or if you're a swimmer.
That's one thing that really surprises me about this, because most major tourist areas or bigger tourist areas have an increased amount of crime because there's so many people transient coming in and out. And it's always amazing to me that we do not see that as much out here. And I think a lot of that has to do with just the people and, of course, our local law enforcement. Speaking of keeping you safe, we are both local realtors here. I'm Andrew, and this is
AJ.
And so if you have any questions about purchasing property down here, all of our contact information will jump on the screen. You can call, text, email, throw a paper airplane with a note on it, however you want to get a hold of us, and we will get you covered. Now, let's get back into it.
Schooling is a super important part of any family's life, right? So something that 30A does rather well is we have some very highly rated schools in our area and a huge program dedicated to helping homeschool parents, which is amazing. And we even have programs available for folks that are here just for the summers if they want to go to a summer camp or something like that. They're very kind of hands-on and kind of interest-based learning. So everyone's kind of learning without stress so much because it's all stuff that they're interested in. I mean, obviously, learning to read, write, and what have you in the earlier stages is very important. But later on, some kind of interest base really helps encourage students to learn more.
And Miramar has a lot of those same things, but they do kind of change it up a little bit and try to specialize a little bit more in specialized education and extracurricular activities. So if you're looking for something a little extra, you're trying to learn something a little bit different than everything, then Miramar might have you covered a little bit better.
30A has a lot of opportunity currently and potentially in the future. We have new developments, lots of new builds actually going up right along 30A, both condos and houses, both short-term rentable and not. We just have a large, land mass that we have able to build on.
So it's a lot more like a blank canvas over there, whereas Miramar Beach, it's mostly done. There's definitely still some new developments happening, but there's a lot more land over at 30A, so I can definitely give them that. But if you are looking for something that's already, ready to go, you're not going to have to wait for something awesome to be built into your area, then Miramar Beach might be a better option, although the blank canvas on 30A is very enticing. Now let's talk about property investment, not just the house that you're going to live in, but if you're actually trying to buy a short-term rental, it's the most common out here. There's other investment opportunities, but let's focus on short-term rental for a second. I personally think Miramar's got a slight advantage and this is very slight on both of these, let's be honest, when it comes to condos. You've just got a little bit more of an array of them. There's taller buildings, that have more options of people being inside of them. So, maybe like a slight better there.
Maybe. You might have a better opportunity with condos on Miramar Beach and then a better opportunity with the houses on 38 because you have a wider range of the type being built.
And a bigger footprint.
That's true. That's true. Well, if you guys are still with us, then clearly you found some kind of benefit to our shenanigans. So please give us a thumbs up. Let other people know this is a great video and we will see y'all at the next one.
See you guys.
Bye, y'all.